The fatal silence after midnight reminds us of how vulnerability can change impacts from second to second through the course of events on the railroads. Circumstances so cataclysmic and confidential, not even allowing the least seat to expose that information could could ever be required. When two freight trains were assaulting steep grades near the town of Pacific Junction, Iowa, just around 3 a.m. East Central Daylight Time, the engineer of the westbound train headed for Wasatch was accidentally switched onto the wrong track, unaware that a flying eastbound headed for Mendota would be approaching on the same track. The engineer of the westbound slammed on emergency brakes but was too late. The eastbounder flew past the westbound coal train at a combined speed of 83 miles per hour. Santa Fe Unit 5086 and Burlington Northern Units 5089, 5817, 6801, 7851 were all but demolished after the collision. The engineer of both manifests passed their medical tests, but one critical flag was found was vision impairment. The engineer, unbeknownst to the NTSB analysts, had crashed his stamina at the throttle of his locomotive flash-up. Even with the air horn blowing from the conductor, he couldn't wake up. It was 4 minutes past 3:10 a.m. when the train suffered a fatal head-on collision. Both lead units were in Notch 5 power, as one was notched throttle to level Notch 8. The cause of the incident was the crashing of the lead unit engineer's stamina while assaulting the grade. The former Chicago Central Pacific Depot was also suffered from moderate damages. Nitric acid from two of the tank cars spilled around the crash site, corroding frames of flat cars and boxcars and auto parts cushion cars galore. Also located around the crash site were demolished boxes of ammonium nitrate fuel oil, Molotov cocktails, red phosphorus, and canisters of carbon subnitride, which is known as the hottest organic peroxide in the world. It's used in arc welding. From locomotive to boxcar and other units, it spilled everywhere, closing an entire perimeter of the area. There is the hopeful possibility that once the investigation is completely cleared and closed, there will be permanent changes to be made to safeguard the well-being of its workers, but also for its employees and rail fans that show a healthy respect for the fatal and critical dangers of train travel, along with FEMA's response of handling hazardous materials in a corrective, respectful manner. Bernard Kalb, CBS News, Pacific Junction, Iowa.